So in the last video, we took a look at how we can take two actors and make them collide with each other. But we noticed that something very strange was happening when this block actor was colliding with this ground actor. And if you look close here, you can see he's doing this kind of jittery freakout effect. And we want to change that. And that's actually due to the bounciness. So let me go ahead and just adjust a few things here. First, I'm just going to delete my block actor from my stage. And I'm going to move my ground actor over here. Now, if I want to stretch this ground actor over, that's exactly what happens. The image gets stretched out. But I actually want to tile this. So just to make things look nice, this has nothing to do with physics, but we want all of our artwork to be set up well. I'm going to click on the ground actor here in my actor bin, and then click on the actor tab that we have here. And you'll notice under graphics, if we open that up, that there is a horizontal wrap which is set to stretch, which again, when you saw when I moved those points over, that's exactly what the graphic did. It stretched. But we want this graphic to actually tile. So I'm just going to switch the horizontal wrap to tile. And then you can see when I click on this block, instead of stretching out the pixels, we actually tile this. And this is a tileable image. Not every image will work perfectly like this. So we'll just go ahead and set up our ground to look like that. Now I'm going to bring my block actor back into my stage here. And I have my backstage open. So if I click on the block actor, we can see that we set up the move to have the block actor move to the right. And again, you know that because this dial is pointing to the right or 0 degrees. What I want is the block to fall straight down. So we're going to kind of create an artificial gravity here. In a later video, we're going to actually talk about real gravity inside GameSalad, but we'll just use this move behavior to get our block to point down. So just like what we had before, but instead of our block moving sideways, we're going to move it down. And then, of course, I'll preview this, and you can see that we have our block, but he's still doing this really strange jitter. So let's take a look at that and fix that. If I click on the block here in our Actor tab, and again, we go down to the Actor tab that we see here, and scroll down to Physics, inside the Physics pull down, you can see we have this attribute here called bounciness. So this is the bounciness for the block actor that we're working with. And by default, all actors have a bounciness level of 1. I'm just going to turn this to 0. And with no bounciness set to my block actor, what do you think is going to happen now if I preview this? So we'll just go ahead and preview. And you can see that our block actor is still doing the exact same thing he was doing before. Now, why if we turned his bounciness down to 0, is he still kind of bouncing all over the place? Well, that's because the ground also has a bounciness value of 1. You got to remember, everything inside GameSalad physics-wise, they all have the same attributes by default. So if things are bouncy, or things are sliding, or things are getting stuck, you have to actually pay attention to all the actors that are coming in contact with each other. So we have to go back and actually click on our ground actor, which I'll do now. And again, we'll go down to the Physics tab for our ground actor as well. Open that up. And you can see that the bounciness for our ground is set to 1, which I'm going to switch to 0. So now that we've set that to 0, I'm going to preview this. And you can see that our block falls straight down and comes in contact with the ground, and we don't have that jitter effect at all. So what I recommend that you do now is take the time to bring in a few actors. You can just create a few blank actors by simply clicking on this plus icon here in the Actor tab. So create a few blank actors. Give them a different color so you know which actor you're working with. And then just play with different bounciness attributes. You're going to find that going above 1 gives you a very insane bounciness effect. And then going below 1, of course, sets the bounciness down quite a bit. And then 0 will make things perfectly static, that they don't bounce once they come in contact with each other, which may be exactly what you want. Also, don't forget that you can set values in GameSalad to not just whole numbers, but you can do things like set your bounciness to 0.1 just to give it a little bit of bounciness and not go to completely 0. So definitely take the time to experiment and see what interesting scenes you can come up with.